This is Diane with Bolan-Beaty Boogie. We haven't been able to do the show because I've been sick. I went to the dentist to get a crown, and I didn't know what to expect because I'd never had one before. But they were, anyway, so the next day, my throat was all swollen, my glands were all swollen, and then sure enough, a couple days later, I got sick. So I think I got sick sitting in the dentist waiting room. And it was a sore throat, it was a stuffy nose. It went on for 2.5 weeks. I was miserable. And some nights I were just like, Marc, I didn't do my meditations, I didn't channel. I kept asking my guides for healing. When I did channel Marc, he was coming in and giving me healings, but it went on for 2.5 weeks. I couldn't breathe. So one night, I'm just telling you the story because one night I was sitting up in bed and I was saying goodnight to Marc, and I was like, Marc, my throat was, my glands were swollen, my throat was sore, I couldn't breathe at all. And I was like, oh, Marc, if there's anything you could do, and I'm in the astral tonight, dream state, if there's anything at all that you can do that would help lift my spirits, can you please try to get it through? And so that night on the astral, and Marc said this isn't always easy to do, I found myself sitting next to somebody who, he looked like a mixture of a couple of different people, but actually the majority of his energy was an old boyfriend I had who worked at a record store. And he was sitting there, and he picked up a CD. You can tell how old I am. He picked up a CD, and he said, here, I've been trying to give this to you. And so I look at it, and it's a CD, and it's got black and white images. It looks like a mix of artwork, like hand-drawn artwork, and photographs. And it's just this black and white images of all these different things. And I'm looking at it, I go, that's really interesting. And then all of a sudden, music started playing. And I'm like, oh, what's that music? And I thought, wait, that's Marc's voice. And then I thought, well, it's Marc singing, but it's not a song that I'm familiar with. And I thought, well, I don't know some of his earlier works when he was acoustic. And I said, but that's not acoustic. And it sounded different. It sounded much more mature. It was amazing. It was beautiful. So I want to try to describe it. It was very modern sounding. It was very melodic. And there were words, but I can't make, I'm trying to remember if I made them out when I was experiencing this, but by the time I woke up and I was back in the conscious, I didn't remember. So I've asked Marc if he can send it back to me so I can make out more of the words. But it was more what we would call like an electric, but it wasn't because it wasn't noticeably like electronic sounding, if you know it. It wasn't like a rap song or anything. It was very melodic. It was very fluid. And it just really sounds like what Marc would sound like if he was still making music. That was my impression. So when I woke up, I still felt horrible, but I was just so grateful and so happy that Marc had sent me that. And a couple weeks later, I got, well, wasn't probably a week later or something like that, he also sent me an image of himself as Marc, which I thought was kind of interesting, and it was black and white too, and it was kind of along the same lines. It looked like a photograph and artwork. And so I asked him, well, you're doing a lot of art or painting or something? And he said, yeah, he's doing music. So right now he's doing music, okay? And it does sound like, but he said it's not music the way we would hear music, but when we hear it, he can make it sound, or we can interpret it like that, because that's what I'm going to be, I'm going to be used to hearing music. But that's not necessarily in spirit how you would take it, or you would experience it. So anyway, I wanted to tell that story because just to let you all know, Marc is still making music. A couple nights ago, he showed me he was doing painting. And it was really wonderful because he had this really big, loopy kind of, he had a paintbrush like it wasn't an imaginary paintbrush because he was really doing it, but it's how, like in a movie, if you saw somebody doing like a paintwork or a painting and they were like that and you could see the colors go through, or some, like a magic wand type of thing. He was doing that, and he was saying it was very, it was a big canvas, and so he's doing a mix of everything right now. And but what was great is that, or what I was looking forward to was telling you all about what he's doing. So I hope you enjoy the show. There is a very special guest today. And we hope to be back sooner versus later now that I'm feeling better. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yep. It's me. It's Marc. Yep. I'm here. Oh, yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've done the show. Yeah. So let's get started right away. I'm here. Yeah, if you don't know me, I'm Marc. I used to be Marc Bolan. Well, I still am Marc Bolan, but in the physical, my last physical life was Marc Bolan of the rock band T-Rex. And now I am channeling through Diane's body. Okay. Yep. Okay, yeah, and I do have some friends with me here in the studio. And I might be talking to you guys, gals. Yeah, yep. And no, I don't think we need the scouts. We do have some scouts here who help us travel, but they might be, yeah. You guys ready if we need to go? Okay. Yeah. So today on the show, we're going to talk about how you can consciously co-create with your spirit self. Okay. No. I hope that, no. We are hoping that doesn't seem too overwhelming. Because it's not. It's easy to do. Okay. So there's the, let's talk about that. The first thing is awareness. Okay. And it's more on the difficult side, or not as easy. Let's not say difficult, but easy to do something if you're not aware of it. Or obviously, right? What do they? No. They were going to say something about a no-brainer, but that's not really the term I would use. No. Okay. No, not really. Okay. So so let's start here. Pretty much. We're assuming that everyone who is watching this has some knowledge or some belief. Okay, maybe it's a belief or both. Yep. That there is spirit life. You have a spirit life. You are a spirit now focused in a physical body. Okay, so we can start there probably, right? Of course, you may not. Okay, but maybe many of you aren't aware that you are co-creating with your spirit as we all speak. You are. Okay, this is a collaboration between you and your spirit self, and then you also have guides who we talk about a lot. Right. Okay, so something that Diane's been working on with her master guru, Bear, is being more conscious of that spirit self. And so why would you want to do this? Okay, let's get into that. Why? Oh yeah. We do have a guest on the show. But I just want to do a preliminary chat. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there are many reasons that you may want to do this. Okay. Well, it does help with focus. Okay. Okay. So you have a plan. Okay. You have goals. When you came down to do this, not came down necessarily, but when you focus to do this physical life, you're a creator. Okay. Everyone's a creator. And you're here to create a new version of yourself, a different version of yourself, to see, you're playing a role. Okay, you're playing a role. Now that's pretty much everyone, understands that one. Okay. And then, so you are going back and forth already, exchanging information with your spirit self. But would you like to be able to do that on a more conscious level? Okay, maybe some of you are, but there is a way that you can do that. Okay, so let's, and what? I'm getting there. Okay, so why would you want to do that? To gain more focus. Okay, to understand what those goals were. Okay, when you attain more focus and more awareness, then you bring more information into your space. Okay, and that you're downloading that from your spirit self. Okay, now, Okay, so what are that's the pros. That's part of the pros. What's the cons? There's really no cons to that. Okay, no. But you have free choice, obviously. So you could be sitting here listening to me and say, well, I'm not comfortable with that, or I'm fine the way I am, right? I don't need, I'm not saying better insight, I'm saying additional insight to who I am, okay? Or you could just be uncomfortable, or you just aren't interested, or it's something outside the realms of what you want to be able, you'd rather go gardening or something. So that's really groovy, that's cool. But if you are interested, okay, then listen on, because that's what we're going to talk about today. Yep. And we have a very, 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 very special guest. Okay. Yep. We have Diane's spirit self is going to come. Yep. Well, Diane didn't realize it till about 2 seconds before I popped in. Yeah. Surprise. Surprise. Yeah. So let's bring Diane's spirit self in. Where is she? Where are you? It's a she. Yep. Yeah. Well, she's got. Well, okay. I'll call her. Yeah, I'll call her Diane. That's not her name in spirit, but she may not want that known. So, okay. Are you coming in? Okay. She's asking, is it time? Yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. Don't. Yeah. A little close. Okay. No, it's not that that's a problem. It's necessarily she's really excited, so she came in really fast. Okay, there you are. Yeah, wait, I'm not seeing. Okay, there you are. Okay, yep. Yeah, she's asking, is this a good space location for her to be in? Yes. Okay, so she's right. You're right ahead of me. Yeah. Oh, she's wondering if her glow is accurate or adequate. Yeah, you've got nice energy. If that is that what you're asking? Okay, yeah. Well, of course I already know you. Yeah, of course I know. Yeah, we're just teasing each other here because we spend pretty much eternity together. So okay, yeah, you're fine. Okay, yeah, no, I can communicate fine. Yeah, well, Diane's spirit self is. Well, are you a little bit put off because, she's very, private. Okay. Yeah. You're very private and you're a little bit put off, but you're kind of excited about being here and talking. Right. Because, well, you're a little bit on the sidelines, not on the sidelines necessarily, but you're out. Yeah. When we're doing the show, you're a little bit towards the back there. Okay. So let's start. Okay. So, let me ask you, Diane, spirit self, Diane, DSS. How about DSS? Okay. Yeah, for sure. So, why did you pick that? No, you're working with, Diane and Herbert. So you're pretty much, channeling your energy through Diane. Well, everyone's doing that. Okay. Everyone's spirit self is doing that, but you've asked Diane, or it's time for you to be working together more closely. Now, why is that? Why is it now? Just so everyone can get a sense of, when you think, okay, well, I want to do that, that's making a conscious effort, okay? And Diane has made the conscious effort to do this, okay? So why now? Okay. So she's saying that, well, Diane wants to expand her abilities. And in order to do certain things that she wants to do, she really needs to work more closely with me. And Herbert, the Master Guru, is, he's a go-between, not really a go-between, well, he is kind of a go-between. So he brought the, Diane, DSS, wanted to be able to do this, knew that it was time to do this, but it was easier to go through an intermediary. Yeah, that's it. That's the word. And you can, so she's saying that you can ask that, okay, if you want to do this, but you don't know really where to go, and you have the ability to do it. Now you can do it even if you can't, trans-channel. You can do it too. We'll talk a little bit about that, but you can ask one of your guides to come forward and say, hey, Marc said that I could work, more closely with my spirit self, and I want to open up that channel of communication, and I want to do it safely in a safe space, right, which is important, which a grounded, safe space. And can you help with that? So that's an important thing to do. If you don't know, yeah, that's a good start. But that is an important step, she's saying, and I agree with that. So ask one of your guides to come forward. They will know which one, or they will know which one. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. And you don't even have to have a clear a clear vision of your guide or anything like that. You could just say, okay, yeah, please come forward. They will come forward and then help you with this. And you see what you get. See what you get. Maybe do an introduction, right? Ask your guide to do an introduction to your spirit self. And they will. They will bring your spirit self forward. And, well, you'll be bringing your spirit self forward too. But you can do introductions and say, Peter, and I want to meet my spirit self. Yeah. And so ask your guides to do that, and they will help you with that. Okay. Okay. So that's how you begin. That's how you would begin. And then, so, Diane has certain things. Diane's not even quite aware of what these certain things are. She knows that she's gotten this connection going. She knows she can see her spirit. She can feel and see her spirit energy, and she is channeling that. But yeah, and she knows that she wants to be able to do more with her ability, but that's the information that she's hoping to get from her spirit self. Okay. So So once you realize that you want to do it, that would be the process, right? Okay. So well, let me ask you this. Okay. So what about, let's say somebody just decided they wanted to do this. They're not really that comfortable, but they want to get to know their spirit self better. Okay, so they've asked their guide to step in. Now, what would you recommend then? What? Okay, so they're saying don't expect too much. Okay, you're saying, sorry. Okay, so DSS is saying don't expect the heavens to part or the sea to part or whatever it is, right? She's saying don't expect too much right away. Okay, just getting the communication going is a big deal. So and we recommend this when you're just meeting a guide for the first time. Okay, and it's pretty similar to meeting a guide for the first time. Just look at any reaction you might get. Do you get a feeling? Do you get do they send you some words in your mind? What information are you getting there? Do you see a color? Do you see some type of pattern? Do you see like a feeling? Yep. That's important. So in your heart, it could be in your heart. It could be a feeling of protection, of some type of tenderness, or or it could be fragility. It could be power in the not controlling sense, but power, a very strong energy. So yeah, you could just say, okay, well, what are my initial reactions to this energy? Because it will be there. Okay, you will be there in your spirit self. If you have asked this to happen, it will happen. Okay, if you ask don't forget to ask your guide. Okay, so you will that's another thing. Okay, so if you do meditate, that would be good. Okay, because there could be a lot of other energies in your space. But let's say you're already meditating, and you don't have to. You can still do this without meditating. But it's always nice to get in a quiet space first. Okay, just kind of clear your mind of everything that happened that day, because spirit energy is very, 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 very subtle. Okay, it's very subtle, and we think that a lot of people think it's going to be. And Diane had this misconception when she first started out, and would I call it a misconception? It's she anticipated it to be much more in your face. That's it. But it's not. My energy is very, very subtle. And I've been told it's more subtle than other spirits. So it takes, so just maybe you could listen to some music that you like, and just sit in a quiet space for 10 minutes or something before you want to try this exercise. And grounding yourself is always good. Okay. But you can also ask your guides to help you out with that. Okay, so what? Okay, yep. So don't expect yeah, don't expect fireworks. No, well, I wouldn't say don't expect fireworks, because you could have fireworks. It could, yeah, something, meeting your spirit self in a conscious level for the first time can be a really, 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 really magical thing. It can be life changing. It can be life changing. Okay, okay. But yeah, but if you're expecting, don't expect anything. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't expect anything. Okay, just open yourself to receiving. Okay, you don't have to give anything at this point. No, no, no. Just let your spirit self send to you. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, and then see what you get. Just be open to receiving what they want to send you. He, she, they, whatever. You know, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, good point, good point. Okay, and they're saying, or DSS here is saying, that you might have a spirit animal come forward to help with this. Okay, so you might get the sense of, or get a picture of a dog or a bird or a cat or somebody, a tiger, a lion. Yeah, so you might see that. So look for that, because that's going to be like your spirit totem helping with this, and that's something that they like to do. Okay, right, right, right. Okay, so let's say you're sitting there and you seemed like, oh, yeah, well, did I think that? Did I get that? Or did I hear that piece of music? Okay, so just take it all in and don't question, try not to, and yeah, this can be challenging, okay? If you're not, well, even like Diane does this work all the time. And oftentimes she'll still say, oh, did I get that right? Did I get that right? So it's normal. It's normal, but try not to second guess the information you're getting or what you're being shown. Okay, or the energy that you might be feeling. Just be an open book, open book. And just allow. Okay, and I know. It's very, 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 very difficult, especially when you're in a physical body, to allow. And yeah, because that's it, because some people feel that would be a vulnerable position to be in, to just allow information to be sent to them, or to be given something that has no ulterior motives. Right. But yeah, no, this is your safe spirit space, and this is your energy. So this is, and that's good. Well, your guide will offer protection too, but if you want to ask for that, you can too. Because it's important that you feel safe in this space. Okay. So let's say, okay, well, yeah, I thought I saw the color blue. Okay. Or I thought I saw a dog. Okay, so so once you get some type of hit, then you could ask for more information about that. All right, and you could say, well, what's this blue color trying to tell me? Right, because your guides or your spirit self will send you information that they think that you can easily understand. So if you're not used to looking at energy, and you're going to have, everyone has a stronger ability or aspect of their ability. So you might be able to see color better. And anyone can do this. Anyone can do this. Sometimes you do need to practice. It's helpful if you practice. But if you don't, it's just fun to try. It's just fun to try. You could see a color. You could see or get an image, or you could get a feeling. Okay, so you're going to have a strength, and your guides know that. Your spirit self knows that. So they're going to work with that. So if they send you the color blue, it might not seem like much, but there's information in that color blue. So you can ask, you can tap on it with an imaginary, not imaginary, but with your spirit finger, or just see a finger go out and tap on that blue. Or if you're getting a song, or if you're getting anything, okay, just look for it. And that will be the information that they're trying, more often than not, that's going to be the information that they want to send you. Because sometimes, DSS is saying, if they start downloading a bunch of rhetoric or verse or something like that, which, information that way, that's what she's saying, it might be overwhelming and it might not go anywhere. Okay, especially if you're not used to doing it. Even if you are used to doing it, sometimes the information comes so fast that you can't take it all in. So they're going to do what they know that you can take. Easily understand, or easily comprehend, or easily notice. Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yep. Oh, yeah. So they're also saying here, that you might actually see a loved one come forward too, because that will be a trust. Yeah, so you might see a grandparent or a spouse or somebody who has passed over spirit. You might get, they might come forward a little bit and say, hey, I'm here too. So this is a safe space, and yeah, I'm watching and you can feel safe. Okay, so that could be somebody. So if you, yeah, notice that if somebody like that comes forward too. Okay, so let's say that you have this initial meeting and you got some information, and yeah, I mean, you don't have to accept it. No, you don't have to do anything. Okay, this is like, it's up to you to do what you want to do with this. You could say, okay, well, this is, I don't get anything, I don't believe any of this, whatever. Or you could say, okay, well, I think I got something, but I'm not sure. Okay, then maybe just come back in a week, or come back the next day, or come back whenever you feel like you want to try it again, and then see if it's the same. Now, they're probably going to repeat the initial same patterns again, right? Do the same thing, walk through it, and you might get the same. Let's say you saw blue. Okay, they might give you the same blue, the same loved one in spirit might come forward, and you might see the same animal totem. Yeah, so they're going to try to make it so you feel comfortable with the process, right? So you might go through that again, and then they might give you one other thing or say something else, and you might start, yeah, eventually you're going to start getting words, okay? You're going to start getting words, they're going to start talking to you, or they're going to download the information in a way that makes sense to you. Okay, so just look out for it. Okay, now let's look at this. Okay, DSS, what type of information could somebody expect to get from their spirit self? Yeah. Okay, so she's saying it obviously all depends on the person. But, okay, I talked about these goals that you have, okay? And they could be really profound. They could be becoming president of your country. They could be very, yeah, or they could be more on a simple, not necessarily less profound, but it could be on maybe a simpler, where you want to be more kind to people in this life. Maybe, yeah, maybe you were a dictator in the past life or something like that, and you want to try to be, or you want to be less solitary and get to know your neighbors, okay? Or yeah, you can have something just, I want to be happy in the job that I do, okay? So something like that. So yeah, so yeah, and this is an important point, yeah, that they want to bring up. Okay, that you're not alone, okay? You're not alone. You have this connection with your spirit self. If you want to open it up, it's going to even give you it's going to give you a connection to yourself that maybe you didn't realize was there, but it's going to build upon yeah, just the knowingness that you're not alone in this. You haven't come down here and focused on a physical body by yourself, right? If you want to be open to that knowledge, okay? So yeah, so you can have let's say a friend in spirit, right? And you do have many friends in spirit, but this is a conscious knowledge that you have your spirit self, and your spirit self is working with you and would like to do more, right? If you're open to it, yeah. So it's whatever you're comfortable with. So they can make you more aware of those goals. Okay, your guides are already doing this. Your guides are already doing this with you. Your spirit self is already doing this with you. But you could do it more on a conscious level, and you can feel, yeah. It is more control. You could get a yeah, no, I'm going to have to go soon. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, so you could have a feeling of more control over your destiny, so to speak. Right. So yeah, there are many people who come down and focus on a physical body and say, you know, no matter what I do, it's outside of myself. I don't have any control. I have to do this. Other people are telling me I need to do this. Other people are saying this is what I should do, and this is who I should be. So those are all choices that you're making, whether or not you realize it or not. Those are choices that you're making for yourself, okay? And if you want to work with your spirit self, it can give you more of a sense of oh, well, maybe I can make the decisions about myself. Maybe I have control over who I am as a person and what I want to accomplish in this physical life, okay? And so having a partner in spirit might be another, well, yeah, a friend in spirit. So there's some, and yeah, and you, well, yeah, you can talk and you can talk, right? You can have this connection. Well, they're saying maybe you don't want to talk in the, maybe you don't want to talk all the time out loud. See where your comfort zone is. But it's better to do something. Well, there's nothing wrong. No, of course not. There's nothing wrong if you want to go into trance. You're sitting in a garden or a park and you want to go into trance a little bit, something like that. Just be aware of your surroundings. But for this, it's really, really preferable if you do it in a quiet space by yourself, okay? And no, it's like, if you want to do it, no, it's better to do it in a quiet space by yourself, and then you'll have less energies trying to interrupt, okay? So, yeah. So start with this, okay? Start with this. And, oh, good point. Yeah, and they're saying, don't give up, okay? Don't give up if it's something that you really want to do, okay? Some people may try it once, give it 10 minutes, and then say, I didn't get anything. Okay, but then that's a decision. Okay, maybe you have other things that you'd rather be doing. But if you're really, really interested in having this conscious connection with your spirit self, you're going to have to give it more than 10 minutes. Okay, like I said, if you can do every day, that's great. If you can do once a week, that's great. Okay, just finding that quiet space where you can open up this connection with your spirit self and see if it makes a difference in your life. Okay, see if you feel more empowered to do things that you want to do. Okay, and you can ask your spirit self questions. Okay, of course. Yeah, and it's different than, they're saying it's a little bit different feeling than working with a guide. Okay, well, your spirit self is a guide in its own way, but it's also an aspect of yourself. Okay, it's an aspect of yourself, and so you're getting that very, very, very personal connection that may, and many of you may feel it very, very deeply. Okay, once you start getting more connected and getting more familiar with who you are as a spirit. Okay, so try it. Yep. Okay, Diane, DSS, do you have anything else to say? Yeah, I've been doing all the talking, but yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, she's saying, I've been doing all the talking, but I've been downloading what you're saying. Right. Of course. Anything else? No, she just wants to emphasize, don't give up, okay? Because Diane could have given up when I came to her, it's about 11 years ago, I think, right? And every day, all day, listen to T-Rex. And she didn't want to do it. She didn't know T-Rex. She knew the band, but she didn't know my music. She didn't have any idea who I was, but I kept at it. And she could have ignored me. But after about 3 weeks, she's like, okay, you don't seem to be going away. Because it was time for me to come forward and start our work together, right? She was ready for it. I was ready for it. So I was very persistent. And I wasn't going to give up. But she could have sent me away. But she didn't. She opened up to finding out who I was. And then 11 years later, we're still working together, okay? So it's your decision. It's your decision. It could open up a wonderful world for you. And you could see aspects of yourself. And she's emphasizing empowerment, okay? That's an important aspect of this. So if you feel that you're looking for something like that, this may actually help you, okay? I think, is it time for us to go? Yep. Okay, it's time for us to go. I'd like to thank my guest, DSS, Diane Spirit Self, for coming and talking on the show. Oh, she's like, okay, you're a little relieved. Okay, okay, so she was thinking, you're saying that you were thinking it was going to be a little bit more, not frightening, but a little bit more, you didn't know, well, you kind of knew what to expect because, okay. But she said, oh, you're just saying it was a lot easier than you thought it would be. Okay, great. Okay, this is Marc. Thanks for coming on the show. This is Marc signing off for this time, and we will be back soon.